Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I'm sharing a quick recap of my week at university. Well, let me tell you, I couldn't take too many clips because throughout the week we had classes, labs, and even during programs we were not allowed to use mobile. So not much clips, but still I captured some moments for you. So let's go. So on Monday, the first thing we had is an induction program in the auditorium with Speaker Thirumal Reddy. He spoke about this personality development, mindset, and his main point was to know about ourselves. We were asked to be pragmatic rather than idealistic. That means we were asked to be practical rather than theoretical. But the pressure of being perfect always forces us to be theoretical, just copying from one source to other source so that we get 100% best result. But that's no point. So instead, being CSS students, we must know the logic behind it because problem solving is our main skill. So this is what we were told. In fact, we were given a whole recap of the entire induction week. Then we headed to the juice point where we had this pineapple juice. It was so good and refreshing. And yes, after this, we had our physics class and C programming class. In the physics class, we had the lab, but there were no classes happening today. So we were asked to introduce ourselves. So yes, I introduced myself. And in the C programming, we were given a syllabus overview. That was what happened today. And then we were heading to the Zype Block canteen where there is a hostel mess. But since there was a lot of construction work going on, we decided not to go there, so we headed back. Here we go, the next day, Wednesday, and guess what, my bus didn't arrive today, so I had to get into another bus which was already full, so we got squeezed. And yes, the classes began with physics again. Today our sir explained the difference between engineering, technology, science and physics because these were the basic questions that are asked during interviews and which we miss out to know. This is a general thing, so before we started the syllabus, we've talked about more general stuff because basics are to be known. And finally we had the watermelon juice, which is our everyday thing to do. And then it was Thursday. I got into my bus and today we had the joy of engineering class in the lab because some sections went out to explore labs and plantations, but my section got to learn about this 3D printing and about different processes involved in manufacturing. We were asked to go and present what we learned, and the whole day went just like that in the same lab, so no classes today. Hi guys, so as I said, I had my joy of engineering class on Thursday. So the day I had this class, I didn't really know what the subject was about, but the only thing I knew that they are going to introduce us to the fun side of engineering because the name itself says that. But then the day when I attended the lecture and all that stuff, when sir introduced us to this concept, I got to know that this is something special. So the main concept of this is to say that engineering is not just pressure, but engineering is pleasure. Pleasure in finding out what's actually happening behind something that is working. What is the reason behind this? How was this introduced? And all that stuff. It's all about innovation and practically understanding something like problem solving. And guess what? Engineers are born in the house itself. Since our childhood, we are engineers ourselves. Like suppose, taking an example of my brother himself, he loves watches. He is crazy about them. So literally, I have no count, uncountable watches, whatever my parents gifted him. He keeps them good for few days or few months. And then what does he do? He dismantles all the parts of watch just to know why is this working and what's happening behind it. Suppose the example of a mixer, grinder or juicer in our house. Sometimes it gets repaired. But instead of calling to mechanic as soon as it happened, we first give it a try. And sometimes it works also. So basically, there is an engineer in us. So we just have to unlock the right path and right way for that. Book knowledge is something different and practical knowledge is something different. So the joy of engineering is to introduce us the fun way, interactive way of doing engineering. And while I was researching about this joy of engineering, I also got reminded of this Mangalyaan movie where Vidya Balan's character Thara so she, while making puris, she realized that I can fry puris even when the gas is off, even when the stove is off, because the oil is hot enough to fry the puris, and it is also saving the gas. The same logic she applied in the rocket science. So in the rocket science, she realized that short and continuous propulsion of fuel could make the rocket move forward. I mean, it is saving the fuel. So that is the beauty of engineering. From the simple cooking task to complex rocket missions also, engineering is everywhere. From the household to the laboratories, engineering is everywhere, and that is what engineer does. Engineers are unique because we create things, we innovate things that others cannot. And engineering is not just about a degree, it's about doing and creating and innovating things, and that is when our degree is valued. And here comes the final day of the week, Friday, and it was a peaceful day. We had classes in the morning, the C programming class till 11:45. We had lunch and we had some session, and finally we ended the day by exploring a campus a bit. The sports complex and the evening sky was just so beautiful, and the clouds were on cloud 9, and it was so good. We were trying to explore, but the security guard uncle said, no, don't come here, so we had to go back. And we are finally done with the week, guys, and that's it for the video also. I could capture how much I can, and yes, see you all in the next video. Bye.